How's it going, Bells Nation? My name's Kai Hatch. I played shortstop for 3 years for the Bellingham Bells. And it was my privilege to find out that I was selected to the All-Decade team. I was extremely honored to have that recognition. They asked me to answer a few questions.
Okay, what are your favorite things about being a Bell?
My favorite things about being a Bell, I was born and raised in Bellingham, Washington. I graduated from Seaham High School, so I always loved the Bells growing up. When I was a kid, me and my friends used to walk down the hill. I only lived about 5 minutes from Joe Martin Stadium, so we'd walk down the hill, get a pizza from Little Caesars, and they'd have free Bells tickets on the counter there at Little Caesars back in the day, and we'd get a couple of those and go to the game. And that was pretty much our summer. We would ask the players for broken bats, we'd chase down foul balls by the Sportsplex, and we just had a blast being at the ballpark and being surrounded by the players. So I've always had fond memories of the Bells, and it was my privilege to be able to play for them for 3 years. To me, growing up in Bellingham, Joe Martin Stadium was like Yankee Stadium, and that's where everybody wanted to be at. If you're a baseball player, you wanted to be there playing. So my favorite part about being a Bell was just beautiful summer nights in Bellingham, being able to watch the sunset go down over Joe Martin Stadium, smell the smells, the atmosphere of the ballpark.
Okay, do you have any fun stories or favorite memories?
One of the funny stories that I remember was actually a road game when I was playing my last season with the Bells. We were in Klamath Falls, Oregon, and we were playing the Klamath Falls Gems there. And like many of the parks in the West Coast League, they'd have a strikeout batter. And so they'd pick one batter from the opposing lineup, and if they struck out, then everybody in the ballpark got a discounted item. And this particular night in Klamath Falls, everybody got half-price beer for the whole night if the strikeout batter struck out. And I happened to be the strikeout batter that night. So every time I was up to bat, the whole crowd would just go crazy trying to egg me on and get me to strike out. And one particular at-bat I remember was I went down on 0-2 in the count really early, and I was just battling, and everybody was already lined up down the left field line. They had this old wood shed that had turned into a concession stand where they sold beer. And they'd already started lining up down there, anticipating me striking out, and they were egging me on and hooting and hollering, and I was just fighting like crazy because I did not want to strike out. And so it was 0-2 and fouled off a couple tough pitches. And then finally, pitch came, and I fouled it off really hard down the third baseline, and it whizzed over this whole line of people's head and put a hole right in this wooden concession stand. And everybody was going, "Holy cow!" And from that point on, they didn't cheer anymore. I was able to fight through the 0-2 count and get on base, and fortunately, didn't strike out that time. So it was a funny story.
That's funny. How do you feel about Bellingham fans, Bellingham Bell fans?
Well, I love Bellingham Bell fans, and probably mostly because I was one. Growing up, I mentioned before, I grew up in Bellingham, always idolized the players there that played for the Bells, and so I love Bellingham fans. I think they're passionate, and people in Bellingham love their baseball. And one of my favorite parts about being a Bell was being able to sign autographs after the games for the kids. That was always a highlight for me. I remember fireworks shows after the games. We could sit down with the teammates and with our families and watch the fireworks after a win at Joe Martin Stadium. Those are some of my favorite memories of Bellingham Bells fans.
What are you up to now?
So since my playing days ended, I finished my degree at Utah Valley University. I got a bachelor's in science there. Then I went on to dental school at University of Nevada, Las Vegas in Las Vegas. And now I'm a dentist, an active duty dentist for the United States Army. So I'm stationed in Texas, and I'm doing dentistry for the United States Army. I'm married. My wife Patty and I have been married for 9 years. We were married for 1 year while I played for the Bells in 2012. So we've been married for 9 years now, and we have 3 awesome little boys that are full of energy. Crew is 6, Chet is 3.5, and we just had a new baby, Cal, that came 2 weeks ago. So a lot of baseball going on in our house right now.
How has being a Bell have an impact on your life?
Well, being a Bell has had a huge impact on my life. I've had so many quality coaches and owners with the Bells. Eddie Poplawski was a phenomenal owner. I learned so much from. Gary Hatch as a coach, Bill Kalkmans, Jim Clem. All those mentors had a huge impact on my life, and I try and keep some of those lessons from baseball, and especially in the Bells organization, and try and teach my kids as they grow older the things that I learned through baseball that can apply to life as well. There's a bookmark that our owner Eddie Poplawski gave us one night before a game when he was kind of giving us a motivational speech. And this bookmark I always keep with me, and it's got a quote on there that I just love. It says, "Watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they become your actions. Watch your actions, they become your habits. Watch your habits, they become your character. And watch your character, it will determine your destiny." Then it has the home babe, Bellingham Bells, summer 2012 on there. So just one of the examples of things that I've kept with me throughout my life to remind me of the kind of the principles that I learned as a Bellingham Bell.